Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Liam Rose. I'm an author, mentor, life coach, motivational speaker, evangelist, musician, and activist. In this FL Studio 20 session, we're going to be making a brand new album and a brand new beat and instrumental. This album was called Spiritual Karma. The reason why I wanted to create this album was because in my life, I've gone through so many different life experiences, life challenges, suffering, pain, adversity. And I feel like my spiritual karma is part of my life. And obviously, the successes that I've had and the failures that I have and the mistakes that I've made and the things that I've learned and how I've changed as a human being, it's all part of my spiritual karma. And I wanted to make a spiritual album talking about spiritual karma and the importance of it. In life, as human beings, we all have a spiritual karma. We're destined to live our life in a certain way and become who we need to be. In my life, I found meaning and value in helping other people, giving back, making a difference, making a contribution, music and faith. And these are the three areas that I focus my life on. With spiritual karma, also Jehovah, Jesus Christ, and Buddha, I believe, wants me to make this album and share it with the world and share it to all my listeners, my followers, and my fans that check out my music, of my spiritual music. So this is the first track for the Spiritual Karma album, which is the name of the title, which is called Spiritual Karma. So how we're going to produce this track is an intro, then verse, and an outro. So let's begin. First with the intro. So okay, so we've done the intro, so we're gonna add it onto playlists. So just gonna add it onto playlists. Text, right. Should make it 20. Okay, next we're gonna do the verse drums. Okay, so we've done the verse drums, so we're gonna add it onto playlist. It's gonna make it a bit longer up until 60. So next we're gonna do the verse melody. So I'm just using orchestration. So I'm gonna add the melody onto playlist. Just gonna add some extra drums because it's a bit longer. So let's just do that. Oh, sorry. Hold on. So I've just added the drums again. Let's just hear it. Okay, so next I'm gonna add the verse piano or bass. I'll do the piano first, actually. Piano. So I'm just gonna find the piano. Just gonna add some notes into the piano. Okay, I'm just gonna cut these notes. Gonna place the piano notes into the pattern. Then I'm gonna lower the piano and then add it onto playlist. Okay, so let's hear it so far. Can't really hear the piano, so okay, next we're gonna add the verse bass. So I'm just gonna make a bass for the melody. Gonna cut the bass, add the bass into its own pattern. Then I'm gonna add it onto playlist. So I'm just gonna add the bass onto playlist. So let's just hear it. One thing I forgot to do is add another vocal. So I'm just gonna do that now while we're recording, because I forgot to do this earlier. So I'm just gonna do it now. Just gonna add "My Life Is Like a Story" vocal. And I may just add another vocal as well of "Spiritual Change." So let's just add that into there as well. So we've got it.
Spiritual Change.
Okay. Cool. So we've got our vocals now. So next I'm gonna do the outro. So for the outro, I'm gonna do piano and drums. So let's do the outro. I try and keep my beats simple. I don't complicate my beats at all. The more simpler it is, the better. You know, I try to just make it as simple as possible. So, um, so for the outro, I'm gonna do drums and piano. I'm just gonna randomly add in the drum notes because I want it to have a unique style to it. So just randomly add in the notes for the drums. When I do this, it makes a unique sound, so that's why I do it. And I'm gonna put chords onto the piano. So let's do major, sorry, not minor, major. Sorry. Just gonna add a bass. Okay, so we've done the outro, so I'm just gonna add it onto the playlist. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit. So I don't want the outro too long. So that should be enough. Now, next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna add in the vocals. So this is how I produce my beats. So first, I'm gonna add in the spiritual karma vocal on every third bar. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm just counting in the bars. Because I did the intro a bit longer, just adding it in. So every third bar, I'm just adding in spiritual karma. So next, I'm gonna add in "My Life Is Like a Story" vocal. Next. So I recently got my laptop upgraded, so my laptop's moving a bit quicker, which is a really good thing because it's going to help me with the music production. So I'm really happy about it. Next, I'm going to add in "My Life Is Like a Story" vocal. So this would just be before the spiritual karma vocal. So I'm just going to add it in just before. when you put vocals onto beats, it makes it more alive. So that's the reason why I always add vocals onto my beats. Before, I never used to add vocals on the beats that I produce. I would just produce and then I would just leave it plain. But I notice every time I add vocals into it, it makes the beat more like energetic and gives it a better feel. So that's why, from now on, I always add vocals onto my beats, unless I'm basically recording or doing music on my mobile phone, because I've got FL Studio on my mobile phone as well. So that's the only time I may not use vocals, but majority of the time I do. And then the spiritual change vocal, I'm just going to add it on the spaces where there's space. So anywhere where I can see a gap, I'm just going to add it in there. I would say normally 2 vocals is enough. You don't really need to do 3 vocals, but because I want to add all my, spiritual vocals into the track, that's why I'm doing 3. But I think 2 is normally enough. You don't need 3. It just depends on how you produce and your style of producing. So, but I'm just putting in 3 because I do want the spiritual change to be in there as well, because that's what the Spiritual Karma's album is all about. So now you can see with the production that we've done today, the beats, we've got the intro here, we've got a long verse here, and then we've got an outro here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play each part, same as I go along. So let's play the intro first.
My life is like a story. Spiritual karma. Spiritual change. My life is like a story.
Okay, that's the intro. Let's play the verse.
My life is like a story. Spiritual karma. Spiritual change.
Okay, next let's play the outro.
My life is like a story. Spiritual karma. Spiritual change.
Okay, brilliant. So the beat is done now. So what we're going to do, we're going to save the MP3 file. I'll do the WAV file once I've converted the MP3 file onto my main laptop. So let's save the project now, save the track. So first, I always save the project of where I produce the music. So this is Spiritual Karma, just going to save it. So we've saved the project. Next, I'm going to export the MP3 file. So just going to put it into its folder now. To Spiritual Karma, the first track. So normally what I do, I put it on my laptop and then I copy it onto my hard drive or my USB. So that's what I'm going to do with this album. So